Okay, so Brady called Betty's children Varmints. Did you guys have a nickname that he referred to you by?
When I was young, he would call me the big frog. And that was his term of endearment, and I don't know where that came from, but yeah, he would, when the rest of them came along, they were varmints. Yeah, that was just
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, probably, but I was thinking just about everybody was a varmint.
Yeah. See, they told us that Philip, he told us that you guys were the pilgrims.
See, I don't ever remember.
I
No.
don't remember hearing that.
No?
No. Those of us
They're-
down here?
They said when he would refer to Betty and Martha's children, instead of saying Betty's grandkids or children and Martha's, he'd say, well, we got the pilgrims and the varmints. But then Tommy later said that he would yell varmint out and you just know who he was talking to, even if he didn't say your name.
Okay.
You'd just know.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What, what do you remember about Brady's demeanor and his personality?
He didn't have teeth, and he chewed a lot of tobacco, so a lot of his conversation was growly kind of things.
Yeah.
And he had colorful language that
Yeah,
he
very
used
colorful language.
at times, and we wondered as kids why he could get by with that and the rest of us couldn't. But that was him. But overall, yeah, he intimidated me. He really did, because he wasn't warm and fuzzy, and I didn't quite know what to expect out of him.
But that never slowed me down from going up there. You know,
Yeah?
I spent a lot of time up there. I mean, a lot of time.
With Grandpa.
I mean, it's less than a half a mile.
Oh yeah, right.
So just walk right down the road, you know. Want to get away from Mom, Dad? Okay, go to Grandpa's.
Yeah.
I heard you'd get in trouble, they'd catch you down there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dad told me I was limited on my time there. So I could come home and do my chores.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I don't want that to be a bad thing. It was just, you know, I like spending time with Grandpa, you know. And maybe I really didn't think about it. Maybe I was kind of wearing out my welcome, you know. But that would be the same thing. And me thinking about it now, if Emerson came to spend time with me, so what? You know, it would not be a big to-do. So
Yeah, I don't think Grandpa would have.
I think it's more Betty.
Oh well, there you go.
I heard that my mom also said that he scared her. She would tell, and some of the other grandkids would go, "What, scary?" She was like, "Are you kidding me? He shook, he spit, he said 'goddamn' every other word." She was like, "He was so scary."
It was scary to me.
Yeah, she didn't want to go around him.
But I was
Yeah.
never afraid of him. He's Grandpa. I mean,
You understood him.
yeah. I mean, that was him. So
Yeah,
there's.
right. Yes.
Now
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
the Rogers didn't live there all the time. They would come in the summer times when the kids were out of school. They would only spend the summer there. So I think they got to know him better. They could see a softer side of him, or a less frightening side of him. They could get by with a lot more. But yeah, he did. I'm like, you're your mom. It was just really scary. The worst thing I remember, oh my gosh, you can edit this out. He would, like I said, he and Uncle Philip would stop, never knew when, to pick me up and go to town. And so there was one time they stopped and they came in, and I was sitting at the kitchen table eating a boiled egg. And they were standing behind me, and it made me nervous that I needed to hurry up. And so I thought I was picking up the salt shaker to put on my egg. Instead, I picked up my glass of milk and poured it all over the egg. And Grandpa just did one of those, kind of things. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Mom said, just wash your hands and go.
They said he would never, scold a child. It was always just like, well, you just won't go next time. He never told you that you did anything wrong. That's what they always said. I don't know, and all the other interviews.
I don't think he ever.
I don't remember him saying anything disciplining us in any way. His way of disciplining was calling us varmints.
Yeah.
We got the point.
And Philip also said his dad never said anything to him, and so one time the bus driver was getting on Betty, Martha, and Philip, and we're like, I'm gonna tell your dad, and they just laughed. They're like, ha, 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 go ahead, tell him. But yeah, somehow he would just silently, they'd know what not to do and to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Did he ever shoot guns around you?
I remember once he wanted us to learn how to shoot. And so I remember going out with him out near the barn, and we shot between the barn and that little white house, which was called the little house. And I had a gun, and he wanted me to shoot it, and I wasn't thrilled about having to do it. I didn't know what to expect, and so I finally did, and it jolted me back. And that was the only time I ever shot a gun. That was the only time I remember seeing him shoot, or being around him when he had a gun with him.
So now that you said that, there was a couple times when he wheeled out on the porch. Now he always loaded ours Philip loaded ours with just newspaper, but there was a couple times that he had to have live round in it. Didn't think anything about it, but he had a tin can sitting out in the yard, and he would, even though he had the shakes, he would hit the tin can every time.
Yeah.
So so it had to have live round in it in order for him to do that. But yeah, he
apparently slept with a gun under his pillow when he was living up there by himself.
and he still has a gun under his pillow.
He still does?
Yes.
Oh, that's right, he does, when he was buried, or when he
In a case of red men, either red man or Union chewed tobacco.
usually red man, but
That's what I was thinking, red man, but
Was that tobacco?
yeah.
yeah, oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was one of his disgusting habits.
There in later times, the one that he had slept with, the spring had to be a lot less on the trigger because he didn't have the power to pull it. But his most favorite is with him. And there again, it's not a valuable gun. It's just one that he liked. So anyway, so when he passed, and it's under his pillow.
He had different hobbies. He obviously collected steam engines. He collected guns. He collected clocks.
Yes,
Do you remember the clocks?
I do.
Yeah, they say there were lots of clocks and bells, the big bells.
Yeah.
When you were
Yeah.
little, there were lots of bells in the yard.
Yes, I remember those, and many of us, I have a bell. Do you have one of these
no.
bells?
Well, the one I have is over here on the
Oh,
other
it's
side
over
of the
there,
house.
yeah, right, yeah, mine's up in Indianapolis in my backyard, yeah.
Tommy's got two.
His
We
are
got a
out
big one in our
there.
yard. Why
Yeah.
bells?
Yeah,
The way there again, he had the two, if you go down to the sawmill now, up in the rafters is two Douglas fir trees, or poles.
Okay.
They trucked those in, they came in on a rail car, and I just heard Phil talk about this, that's the only reason I know it, is they picked them up at the rail yard and brought them home, but like I said, they're Douglas fir, and I thought they came from out west. But he used those two in conjunction with one another to set the big bells and church towers. The one that definitely was told was the gymnasium rafters in St. Paul. They set those rafters for those two big poles. How they got him into that barn down there, if you ever go down and get a chance to look at him, there's only one little door. So they have to get him across the ditch and into that. How do they do that kind of, I don't know.
talking about the clocks, I have inherited that gene from him. I love clocks. I have clocks all over my house. I have a grandfather clock, I have wall clocks, I have small clocks, and I wind them. The thing I don't like is the time change. Then I have to go forward or go, because it's hard to do when you've got a pendulum clock. You have to take it all around. So anyway, yeah, Grandpa had all these clocks all over, and I can remember being in the house and listening to them tick wherever they were, and then they would chime. But that, to me, that's so soothing. I love having clocks in my house that tick, and I think I just picked that up from being up there with Grandpa. Yeah, he had clocks everywhere, and I don't think no, I don't have any of his clocks, but yeah, they were very soothing and a very peaceful sound. And I can remember Actually, I don't know why. I can remember being in a living room in a chair, and the banjo clock was behind me. Philip and Grandpa must have been out working, and I don't know why I would be there by myself, but it was just listening to the clocks. It was soothing. It was comforting. I didn't feel scared in the house. But yeah, I got that gene from him.
You're the only one I know.
What?
You're the only one I know.
Oh, yeah?
That inherited the clocks.
Yeah.
He loved clocks. He has magazines and we have all these cards. He was the clubs. He was in clubs. So one of the cards we have, he was in the Pioneer Engineers Club, and you're still in the Pioneer Engineers Club. So that must be from him.
I started in '75, and that's the first year we took the steam engine. Now, it's been different times when this engine hasn't made it, but yeah, I've missed 1 year since 1975, and that's the first year that they moved out to the new grounds, and so this year is the 75th year. But it was not because they moved. It didn't work in a work schedule that I could go. But yeah, I tell everybody that they say you're going on vacation. Where are you going to? Rushville, vacation capital of the world. So yes, go every year.